Investigation agency carrying out raids in Shopian, and these raids are linked to terror-related activities in the valley. We understand that as of now the raids are currently going on. This is related to the cases of terror activity and funding. My colleague Yavar is on the broadcast with us with the update. Yavar, what are the details of the raids?
Well, Pratibha, since the morning, these raids were conducted in the parts of the Kashmir Valley, particularly in the South Kashmir, Shopian. What we have been given the understanding that this is an ongoing investigation with the SI, that's the state investigation agency dealing with the cases related to the activities, anti-national activities. So they have already registered a case, and with regard to this, these raids have been conducted, and we have been given the understanding that the Shopian, maximum places in the Shopian, the raids were conducted there. Since the details are catchy as of now, but we have been given the understanding that SIS along with the J&K police and the paramilitary, they carried out an extensive searches since the morning at various locations with regard to the terror-related activities and other cases which is with the SI Kashmir. So pertinent to mention is that over the last few years we have been witnessing an extensive operations being conducted by the SI, be it the OGW networks or the sympathizers, or providing anyone who logistic to the outfits. So somewhere we are witnessing that this development is coming in, that a fresh raids were conducted in the Shopian. Back to you.
Okay, all right. Pradeep is also on the broadcast with us, and Pradeep, very clearly, while there may be a ceasefire understanding that has been achieved with Pakistan, India is aware of the continuing threat that comes in from the Pakistani side. And what we are looking at is dismantling the entire terror ecosystem, which is why the raids are underway. Take us through the significance of these raids and how this ongoing operation will only continue.
See, Pratibha, India has been facing these kind of threats for the last several decades. In fact, I'll say since 1947. Indian forces are well aware of facts, what actually is really going to happen. But yes, so far as ceasefire is concerned, that means they will not be opening mouths of their guns to target Pakistani location, what they had been doing because of provocation from the other side of the border. I think this is high time for Pakistan leadership to understand, instead of claiming victory, they should try to roll their heads and try to learn from their mistake, and also try to get rid of their army general, because he's the one who had dragged them into war. It would have had dangerous consequences. Already you can see how India has been able to hit them back. Many of their air bases have been completely destroyed. Whether it's a Sargodha air base, we can see that how the runway was destroyed, because if you are destroying runway, that means you are completely curtailing mobility of their enemy aircraft. And then there was Rahim Yar Khan, then there was Rafiki air base, then there was Chaklala air base also. And all these air bases are in Lahore and Rawalpindi area. That means in the heart, India was able to hit them back. But unfortunately, what's happening is that Pakistan is known for deceit, deception, denial and disinformation, and they're continuing with their disinformation. With this disinformation, they can fool their domestic audience. But the world understands what really has happened. I think people in Pakistan also understand what really happened. Because see, when on April 22nd, the Pahalgam massacre was carried out by Pakistan-sponsored terrorists, India had made it clear that this can't be tolerated, and we are this time not only going to act against those jihadi foot soldiers, but this time we are going to take action against perpetrators. Prime Minister came back from Saudi Arabia. He cut short his visit, came out to this place. There was a CCS meeting. India gave them enough time. There was a 14 days window. That was the time when India expected that maybe Pakistan will do something in this regard, but nothing happened. Pakistan was in complete denial mode. And finally, after 15 days, India carried out surgical strike. That was Operation Sindoor was launched, and we have seen how many of those terror dens were demolished. Because India's intent was not to target any of the army installations. This is what everybody knows. Because India wanted to go after those terror dens, those terror factories like Bawalpur, like Markaz-e-Taiba, that was a Lashkar in Muridki, and many other terror dens in Sialkot and in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. India succeeded in that. In that 25-minute operation, 24 missiles were fired, 9 terror dens were demolished, more than 100 terrorists killed, and even the terror clan of Masood Azhar, the man behind that Pulwama bombing, was also killed. So India had achieved its target. India has achieved its objective, because India never wanted to target Pakistan military. But what really happened? Rattled Pakistan. Started targeting Indian locations. They opened mouths of their gun. Indian gave them back, and then they started an aerial intrusion. They started unleashing unleashing those drones, India was able to hit back those drones also, neutralize them. Because nothing was going on well for Pakistan. Because they thought maybe with the help of the drone, they will be able to target Indian air bases, they will be able to target Indian army installations, and even civilian areas. Yes, they were able to hit some of the civilian areas. 8-10 houses were destroyed in Rihari, partially destroyed and damaged, but they didn't succeed in their mission. So finally, because they never realized that India is going to hit them so strongly, at least they were begging for that kind of a ceasefire that there should be. So they were just knocking at different doors, and then they were also nuke mongering. All of a sudden, you must have seen that there was a kind of a U-turn, and a climb down by the Pakistan defense minister. Pakistan defense minister said, no, nuclear option is not the option. But then it was that means, because when Prime Minister said, now act of terror will be act of war, that was the time when Pakistan realized that they have to surrender, because this is the only option, because this man is going to translate it words into action. Then next time it will be very difficult. So this time when Americans are asking them for the ceasefire, they should go for ceasefire. But now for catering to their domestic audience, they are all going with those jingoistic statements that we wanted them to be in battlefield. Pakistan has realized one thing, that they can't match might of Indian military. They can continue with their proxies and the terror-related activities. That is where India has to be cautious about. That's why the raids are being conducted. So action against terror-related elements will continue on Indian side, and they will try to ensure that these terrorists are not able to raise their ugly head again.
Okay, all right. Pradeep, thank you for joining us with those details. So with that, it's time for us to slip into a very short break here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the latest updates.
Get ready to slice and